Today on the newscast, a major deadly terror attack in Jerusalem. We've got all the breaking details next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've got breaking news for you today. Friday, January 27th, a horrific terror attack in Jerusalem during Shabbat, no less. A Palestinian terrorist opened fire on worshipers leaving a synagogue in the Neve Yaakov neighborhood of Jerusalem today around 8:15 p.m. Israel time. Again, during Shabbat, worshipers were leaving this synagogue when this terrorist opened fire. As I come to you around 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, January 27th, at least 7 people are dead as a result of this terror attack, and at least 10 more are wounded. Now, our prayer is that those numbers do not increase, but that's what we have for you so far, folks. Around 3 p.m. Eastern time. You may be watching this later. Maybe the numbers will increase. We pray not. Again, 7 dead and 10 wounded at a synagogue in God's one and only holy city, Jerusalem. Now, a little bit of backdrop here for you. One gunman apparently carried out this attack. He tried to flee in a car, but he was killed by Israeli security services. What are Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad saying about this? I'll share that in a minute. Before we go any further, a quick reminder to subscribe to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video, a new update like today, breaking news, is posted. You don't want to miss it. You can also follow us at Instagram, Erick.Stakelbeck, Twitter, Facebook, where we are also posting about what happened today. And folks, the backdrop, not only on Shabbat or during Shabbat, but on International Holocaust Remembrance Day. That's right. Today, January 27th, is the day where Israelis and Jews around the world are commemorating the horrors of the Holocaust and vowing once again that it will never happen again, what was perpetrated by the Nazis and that demonic regime. And yet, we have the likes of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad and their masters, the Iranian regime, trying or pushing to carry out another Holocaust. Folks, they don't hesitate in sharing with you their goals. They want to wipe the state of Israel off the map, and they want to eliminate the Jewish people. It's real simple. This is their ideology. This is their end game, and we see it again today with this horrific synagogue massacre. That's the word to use to describe it. Now, again, the gunman was killed. Palestinians right now, we have footage on Twitter and elsewhere of Palestinians in Jerusalem, in Arab neighborhoods there, and in other places like Jenin, celebrating, setting off fireworks and handing out candy, celebrating this carnage that went down in Jerusalem today. That's the state of play, folks. That's what we are looking at right now. Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the two main Palestinian terror factions, I mentioned them a minute ago. They are both, not surprisingly, praising this operation. Again, as I come to you, neither one explicitly claimed it and said, yes, this was us. This was a Hamas operation, an Islamic Jihad operation. But Hamas did say that, or did label this Operation Al-Quds. That's their word for Jerusalem. They call it Al-Quds, or their phrase. And they said Operation Al-Quds is a big success. We praise this heroic martyr, and so on and so on. We've seen this kind of verbiage out of Hamas and Islamic Jihad now for far too long. What happens next? What comes next? Obviously very tense in Jerusalem right now. And folks, will Hamas and Islamic Jihad look to push further? A bit more backdrop. I actually initially recorded a newscast for today focusing on what's happening in Gaza in the past 24 hours or so, and it's all linked. More on that in a minute. But re-recording the newscast now to bring you this breaking news out of Jerusalem. But what has gone down in the past 24 hours or so, and I think this Jerusalem horrific terror event, evil event carried out by a demonic individual, it comes on the heels of an Israeli counter-terror raid in Jenin. Now, Jenin has become really a terror hotbed, especially in the past few months. More and more clashes between terrorists in Jenin and Israeli security forces and the Israel Defense Forces. Remember, Jenin is a stronghold of Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Now, the main base for Islamic and Jihad and Hamas, two Iranian proxies, is Gaza, but Jenin in the West Bank, which we call here on the newscast Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland, because the Bible calls it Judea and Samaria. Nonetheless, the world mostly calls it the West Bank, and Jenin is a city there where Islamic Jihad has a very strong hold. And yesterday, Thursday the 26th, Israel carried out a major counter-terror operation there, killing several Islamic Jihad terrorists. The Israel Defense Forces said they thwarted an imminent terror plot being hatched in Jenin. Again, it was imminent. They said, look, weapons, bombs were primed for use by these terrorists. Thankfully, Israel was able to stop that terror operation. But in response, and no surprise, we've seen this script before, rockets were fired last night out of Gaza. A volley of at least 7 rockets. 2 were fired at first, both intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. Those rockets were targeting, in particular, Ashkelon in southern Israel and the surrounding communities. Then there was another volley of 5 rockets, and at least 2 of those were intercepted by Iron Dome as well. The other 3, thankfully, fell in an empty field. But Israel, the Israeli Air Force, did respond, folks, right away with some pretty serious strikes in Gaza against terror positions there, in particular, an underground rocket building factory. There was a bit of calm after what happened in Gaza and southern Israel last night. During the day, pretty calm, even in Jerusalem, atop the Temple Mount where the Al-Aqsa Mosque is located. A lot of times that flares up during Friday prayers. Worshippers come out of the mosque and things get nasty. Even that was more subdued today, but folks, that was the calm before a very wicked and evil storm. It brings us to now and the aftermath of this deadly terror attack in Jerusalem, again, on International Holocaust Remembrance Day, again, during Shabbat. This is where we are at, and we have a new Israeli government, of course, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, and we've seen a lot of unrest in Jerusalem in recent weeks, accusations that this new Israeli government wants to change the status quo atop the Temple Mount. We've been telling you here in the newscast that Jerusalem will be the center more and more of the world's attention in the days, weeks, and months to come. Not only is it the geographic center of the world, quite literally, it is at the center of God's prophetic plan. Keep your eyes on Jerusalem and the Temple Mount. Pray for the families and the friends, the loved ones of these terror victims today. Pray that anyone who was behind this attack, in addition to the shooter, is brought to justice. Pray the numbers of the dead and injured do not increase. And I leave you with this. You have a biblical mandate to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So I implore you to do exactly that as we head into the weekend. If there are any more updates, any more attacks, God forbid, anything else happening, we will come to you this weekend here on the channel, so be sure to stay with us. Until next time, thanks for joining us today. God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new Watchman Newscast episodes every weekday.